Question on eating at Friendly's, a non-kosher restaurant, but the ice cream is kosher. And you're eating it on glass dishes and cups, or drinking alcohol at a bar or hotel lobby. They always serve it in glass cups. We have discussed this before, but I was wondering if you could elaborate. Okay, so going to eat at or drink at a non-kosher place is forbidden for a Jew for multiple reasons. Okay, number one, any place that serves non-kosher food cannot be relied on. Just like in Eretz Yisrael, if a person does not observe Shabbat, the Rabbanut will never give them a kashrut. Even if they sell kosher food, which is very easily accessible and cheap in Israel, they still will not get the kashrut. Why? Once a person shows that they do not care for the Torah, they can no longer be relied upon. If he doesn't keep Shabbat, therefore he doesn't care about his own neshama, and therefore you can conclude safely that he doesn't care about your neshama, which means that even though he is serving, generally speaking, serving kosher food, we still can't give him the kashrut, because if he gets a really good deal on donkeys and elephants that look like chicken, he'll buy those donkeys and elephants and serve them to you and say it's chicken. Why? Because he doesn't care about his neshama, and therefore he surely doesn't care about your neshama. So he cannot be relied upon for kashrut. The same concept goes, or even more so goes, for goyim, for non-Jews. Non-Jews that are selling bacon and all types of treif, to say, oh yeah, but they're also going to sell me kosher ice cream, you cannot rely on such a thing. Why? First of all, they're non-Jews. Even a non-Jew cooks for you, you can't eat the food. So, needless to say, you cannot trust a non-Jew to serve you food and say, oh, this is kosher. Even so, that if in Gemara Masechet Avodah Zarah says that if a person wants to deliver wine, wants to deliver barrels of wine, he has to put 2 seals on that barrel of wine. He has to put 2 seals on that barrel of wine if he's going to deliver it through some non-Jew. Why? If he does not put the right amount of seals, we can't rely that this non-Jew did not open this barrel of wine and make the whole thing forbidden. And that's just wine, Rabotai. Needless to say, if it's something else, there's another thing. There is an issue of, if let's say there is kosher food, you have kosher food, you are on a plane, okay? You are in a restaurant, you brought your own food, okay? How about this? You brought the food, it's kosher, okay? Your wife woke up 6 o'clock in the morning, made you some steaks, and made you some cookies, and made you some whatever she made you, okay? Baruch Hashem. You took that food, and you brought it with you, right? Okay, Baruch Hashem. And your friends, they want to go to a non-kosher restaurant, and you want to eat your kosher food. Okay, Baruch Hashem. You decide that you're going to sit there, and with your little kosher meal, with your little wrappings, and the I love you note from your dear wife, the tzadikah, right? Okay, of course she doesn't know you're going to go to a non-kosher restaurant, because if she did, she would yell at you. But you are chamor, and you're going to a non-kosher restaurant because you think you have kosher food, and that makes it okay. All right, ishtabach shimo. You're at a non-kosher restaurant. Oh, I'm going to eat this. What are you guys going to eat? I'm going to eat bacon. I'm going to eat snake. I'm going to eat snails. I'm going to eat frogs. Okay, I'm going to eat chicken. Kosher chicken. Okay, you eat your chicken. We're going to eat our bacon and our cream cheeses. No problem. Okay. Bon appetit. Okay, bon appetit. Oh, hold on a second. Since I'm eating kosher, obviously it shows I'm a Jew. That shows I also have to do blessing. I have to wash my hands. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. He goes to wash his hands. Guess what? Food's not kosher anymore. Why? The second he leaves, the meat is no longer something he can see. Can't rely that the meat is still the same meat. Cannot rely that the meat is the same meat. The meat is no longer kosher. Yeah, but I see it's the same thing. Doesn't make a difference. Once you can't see the meat, no kosher anymore. Why? Who knows what they put in it? Who knows what they put in it? It's actually a real story. A real story of a Jew with Yirat Shamayim that went on a plane, brought food from his house. I'm sorry, asked for, ordered from his house, ordered food from the airport, kosher dish. Ordered a kosher dish. So now everybody in the plane gets their non-kosher food, but this Jew gets his kosher food. Now, of course, the guy, the non-Jew that's sitting next to him, sees that his food looks different. He goes, why does your burger look different than mine? Your packaging is different. It has a lot of wrappings on it. Why? What's special about his food? So the stewardess says, oh, sir, yes, he ordered the kosher food. You want kosher food? No, I don't want kosher food. What's the kosher food? And he tells, oh, it's kosher food. It's the Jewish people. Oh, okay. So, the Jewish guy has kosher food in front of him. The non-Jew has not kosher food in front of him. Jewish guy can't eat. Why? He has to wash his hands. We're not animals. We're not donkeys. We have to go wash our hands. So he has to leave the food, goes wash his hands, and he sits down and he looks at his food, his drink, thinks for himself, and decides to close the wrapper, close the food, and just eat some of the things that are in wrappings and drink the drink. He doesn't eat the burger. Several minutes later, the non-Jew that sits next to him is looking at him and he says, I don't understand. How come you're not eating? And the Jew says, no, I'm not hungry. You're not hungry? Why not? We've been on a plane for 12 hours. Yeah, I know, but I'm just not hungry. Not hungry. Huh. Are you sure you're not hungry? Yeah, you want the sandwich? No, I don't want the sandwich. Oh. And the non-Jew is bothered by the fact of this Jew that he knows not eating the sandwich. But why not? Why are you not hungry? Did you eat already? No, I didn't eat, but I'm not hungry. But you were hungry before, when you got the sandwich. So the Jew realizes that this non-Jew is not going to let this go. And they're on a plane. They're going to, I think the flight was to Australia or something. It's a 17-hour flight or some long flight. And he says to the non-Jew, okay, you want me to tell you the truth? I am hungry. But I have a Torah. And our sages told us that if we can't see our meat, we can't eat it. The moment that I walked away, I went to go wash my hands because I need to wash my hands. But then I forgot that there's an halacha that says that I can't leave my kosher food without supervision next to a non-Jew. No disrespect to you. This is the laws that we have. I went to wash my hands, but then when I came back, I realized, wait a minute, this food was here, unsupervised, next to non-Jews. Everybody has non-Jews. I don't know what happened. I'm hungry, but my sages told me I can't eat the food. And since I follow the Torah, I'm not eating the food. The non-Jew almost had a heart attack and says to the Jew, your sages were divinely inspired. The Jew says, yeah, of course. He goes, no. Your sages know the truth. He says, yeah, I know the truth. He goes, your sages saved you from eating non-kosher. He said, what? Excuse me? What are you talking about? He said, listen, to be honest with you, I didn't really think much of this kosher, non-kosher thing. I never heard of it before. I'm not Jewish. When you went, I looked at your burger, and I looked at my burger, and yours looked better than mine. I said, what's the difference? Mine was even bigger than yours. So I switched the burgers. I give you my burger. I ate your burger. Meaning that your food was my food, it was not kosher. And your sages saved you from eating my food. To go to a non-kosher restaurant has a whole slew of problems. You cannot trust anybody there that is not Jewish. Needless to say, if he's a Jew who does not observe the mitzvot. That's another reason. Next reason is the fact that the glass cup being, whether it be in alcohol or otherwise, it's not your problem. People think, oh yeah, why? It's because the cup didn't go to the mikveh, it doesn't absorb. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that you cannot rely on the people behind the counter. You cannot rely on the people behind the counter. You can say, wait a minute, I'm just simply having a drink. Who said that the drink is kosher? Who said that they didn't put some worms or warm blood or something else in there? No, why would they do that? Because it's part of their whole regimen. They have tequila and all types of other types of drinks where they actually have these bugs in there, and they don't think it's a bad thing. They think they're doing you a favor. They don't think it's a bad thing to put something in it because they do it for themselves. A person that does not observe the Torah, does not understand the consequences of not following the Torah, doesn't think it's a big deal. I remember when I was in school, I used to go to public school. And I used to have a lot of non-Jewish friends. And I used to try to keep kosher even as a little kid. And my friends would tell me, listen, why aren't you eating? I said, no, I only eat kosher meat. Why? I said, because I'm Jewish. So how come you don't have that little hat? I said, what do you mean, kippah? No, I'm not that religious. I just don't eat non-kosher meat. Okay, so you want to bite of my meat then? I'm like, no, it's not kosher too. Well, I'll bless it for you. I'll bless the meat for you. It'll be kosher. My friends will mess with me and tell I'll bless the food for you. Then it'll be kosher. They have no concept that this is kosher and that's not kosher and there's a difference. They think it's like some blessing, some formality, because that's what they have in their world, in their religions. So you have to understand, when a person goes to a non-kosher restaurant, they cannot rely on anything. Even salad you're not allowed to eat in a non-kosher restaurant. Why? Anyone that cooks, like a Jew, knows what I'm talking about already, doesn't need an explanation. Anyone who doesn't cook doesn't know what I'm talking about. Why can't I eat salad at a non-kosher restaurant? Simple. When you go to a non-kosher restaurant, you say, I want salad. What do you want in the salad? I want some celery, I want some tomatoes, whatever you want in your salad. Okay, ishtabach shimo, they give you a salad, you eat, Okay, no problem. You go to a kosher restaurant, you say, I want salad. What do you want? I want Okay, you get a salad, you get celery, and potatoes, and tomatoes, and everything looks the same. But it's not. Why? When you are a Jew, you have to wash each one of your vegetables multiple times in salt water and soap water in order to remove the bugs, the maggots, the worms, the flies, the spiders, all the other stuff that's there. Because if you eat one of those bugs, it's like eating pig 5 times or 6 times. Now, of course, you can say, yeah, but the non-kosher restaurant also washes their vegetables. If you compare how a Jew washes vegetables versus how a non-Jew, you'll say the Jew is the only one that's washing vegetables. Why? Because the non-Jews, they wash the vegetables superficially. Simple. They they wash it to remove anything that's obvious. If there's a spider that's 3 pounds, they'll take it and they'll throw it away. If there's a fly that has muscles, they'll take it and throw it away, of course. But not everything is that obvious. They'll wash it superficially, and that's it. They put it on a plate. They're not putting it in soap water, and salt water, and that water, and they're not putting it in anything. They're just simply washing it with some water under the sink, finished. And guess what? If there's a bug, they'll tell you bon appetit. It's not a big deal to them. Why? Because some of them even eat bugs by choice. You see, you have to understand, Rabotai, the food that you eat as a Jew is a world apart from non-kosher food. And the more you know about Ashkacha, the more you understand how your worlds are not similar at all to the non-kosher world, to the non-Jewish world. The more you know, the more you realize how horrible the acts of those so-called rabbis and Jews are that go to these non-kosher restaurants saying, oh, it's not a big deal, I'm just eating this, I'm just eating that. Because what they're doing is the next sin that I mentioned the other day. When a Jew, needless to say if it's a rabbi or a religious Jew, walks into and sits down in a non-kosher restaurant, you have another sin called Marit Ayin. Marit Ayin means that other people will see this person and arrive at conclusions. Conclusion number 1, this person is a hypocrite. He says he's a rabbi, he says he's a kosher Jew, but he's here sitting in a non-kosher restaurant, which means that he is just like the criminals I used to see in the casinos and clubs and so on that pretended to be Hasidim. That's a Chilul Hashem. It's a Chilul Hashem. That's number one. Or they arrive at a different conclusion. What's the other conclusion? Other conclusion is that this place really is kosher. It's not just kosher ice cream. It's not just kosher soda. It's also kosher meat, kosher pork, kosher chicken, kosher everything. And you say, no, I didn't tell him that. It's not, your actions told him. And our halacha says it's forbidden to do such a thing. In fact, the Gemara says that the blood of an animal is forbidden, but you are allowed to drink or eat the blood of fish because they're not considered mammals and so on. Now, but if you're going to drink the blood of fish out of a cup, then you have to make sure to leave the skeleton of the fish next to the cup. Why? I don't want to look at the skeleton. I just want to drink the blood because I have a desire for drinking blood. Good for you that you like to drink blood, but the world does not revolve around you. You're not the only person in the world. There are other Jews in the world. And if another Jew sees that you are a Jew that's drinking blood, he'll assume that's cow blood, that's sheep blood, that's something else. He's not going to assume it's fish blood. He's not going to assume that. He's going to assume the worst. Why? That's the evil inclination in everybody. They're going to assume it's not kosher blood. So when you have the fish skeleton next to it, you are absolving him from any of his wrong notions. You say, what do I care about what he thinks? You're obligated to care what he thinks. Why? It's a mitzvah in the Torah. You have to be naki be'enei Hashem u'be'enei ben Adam. You have to look clean. Clean meaning clean of sin in the eyes of a Kadosh Baruch Hu and also in the eyes of man. You're not allowed to look like a sinner. You're not allowed to look like a sinner. So here we have at least a handful of more violations that a person makes by sitting down in a non-kosher restaurant, even if he doesn't eat. How about this? This is not even all of it, and this is not even half of it. There are more, but there are other questions also. Anyone who doesn't get the point still thinks they're allowed to go to non-kosher bars and restaurants and eat and drink. Suit yourself. Don't say you didn't know. Don't say you didn't know. I told you enough reasons. I believe there is more than enough justification to show we have no agenda here to tell people not to go to non-kosher places for our own interest. It's not like I own restaurants, and by you not going to non-kosher restaurants, you're going to go to my restaurants. I don't own restaurants. I have no incentive whatsoever in telling people to do anything unless it's for themselves. Unless it's for themselves. Somebody that's a Jew wants to continue going to non-Jewish places, wants to continue going to friendlies and other non-kosher bars and so on. Suit yourself, have a good time, enjoy yourself, because you're going to suffer a lot for it. That's it. You want to do it, it's your business. It's your blood is in your hands. Don't say you didn't know. The reality is it's forbidden for everybody to do it. But if they want to do it, there's nothing I can do. I can just simply give you the information.
Okay, Rabbi, this is a simple example of a bag of rice where it looks perfectly fine. And if you bought it at anywhere, whether it's a regular supermarket or a kosher store, it all pretty much looks the same. It's rice. Now, a Jew is obligated to wash the rice. Why would the Jew need to wash the rice? The factory already washed it. And there is no problem. What? It's rice. There's no meat in it. Where is there? Let's see. Let's see if we can find something. So, what is this black thing? Hey, little guy. Hi, George. Well, look at this guy. Hey, buddy. Hey, you're alive and well. Strong. Are you eating breakfast? Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Does George have any friends? Let's see. George. Let's see. George has any friends? Bag of rice from the supermarket. Let me see. Oop. You see something here? Right? Let's see. Steve's over there, he's hiding. Just went to rest after he ate so much. Oh, here we go. There you go, Steve. There you go, Steve. Oh, Steve goes back to hiding. Oh, Steve went back to hiding. Here, come out, Steve. We gotta see you on camera. Smile. There you go.
I see one. Here, right
That's
there.
him. No, that's Steve. It is so Steve. I think they just saw Muhammad.
George.
Oh, that's George? Okay, it says George over here. That's George. This is Steve.
Yeah, so.
That's George. This is Steve. I think I just saw Muhammad somewhere over here.
Yeah, Muhammad.
Where is Muhammad? Muhammad is over here hiding. Oh, there's a whole family. Oh, here we go. Here you go. Ain't Muhammad. Manishma Muhammad. And you have all the time a whole slew of these things. There we go, there's another one. Who's that guy? That's Wilbur. And, oh, hey! Look at these guys. That's where the family is. Ah,
And there's the rice pouring.
that's where they. There you go.
And they're leaking out the back.
See, guys? They're all having a good time having lunch on the house.
They're having dinner.
Yeah.
They're having dinner with their.
אני מברך את הרבנים, רגע. אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בישועות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל אשר יפנו ישכילו ויצליחו, יזכו לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה.
איפה הוא גר?
בפלורידה.
פלורידה, איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה.
מיאמי. כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
תעבירו מה שבירכתי אותו.
כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
כן.